Hello, everybody, and welcome back. I know I said I was going to do the Eddie Hybrid video next to take down Aerodominus and Rudy, but that will come right after this one. I want to get this video out as quick as possible. So, yeah. So, dogs, the goodest of good boys or girls. The best pets to ever exist. What are they sometimes used for? That's right, military work. So that's the point of this hybrid, is to be the best military dog to ever exist. Now, I know what you're saying to yourself, but didn't Goji Center already do that with Mortelodon? Goji Center made basically a bioengineered assassin. They did not make the best military dog meant for all purposes. Mortelodon is meant to kill somebody quickly and quietly, along with scaring them as it does that. But, let's just let's just get straight into the genome. Starting with the base genome, we have Enos transivia. Then we use African elephant for padded feet, tusks, and just general size. Then we use raccoon for the tail length, but another cool thing about raccoons is that they are one of the only animals to have opposable thumbs that aren't apes or humans. So yeah, that's pretty cool about them. So we're also going to put thumbs in there into this genome. Then we're going to use porcupine for the spines. And we're also going to use camel for its ability to retain water in a hump kind of thing. It's mainly fat just turning into water. And also we're going to use camel for its adaptability, since camels can adjust to colder climates. Even though they're known for being desert-dwelling animals, they can live in both heat and cold. Then we're going to use Black Panther for its retractable claws and eyes. I think they're retractable. I'm not quite sure on that. Then we're going to use Honey Badger for its skin. I'm not sure what the skin does. I think it's more like, it's more plentiful skin, I think is what it is. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not that knowledgeable on this specific animal. Its skin is kind of thick and it has like a lot of it, so it's harder to grip down and rip out skin like that and make an open wound. I'm pretty sure that's why it's so durable, but just durability in general, I guess. And venom resistance. Now, I know Zane brought this up, and it's also something I do know about these animals, is that they sleep off venom, but it can hold out for a few minutes before it has to sleep it off. Then we add short-tailed shrew for iron-infused teeth and tusks, along with venom, of course, because why not? And last but certainly not least, we have the best dog to ever exist, and I will die on that hill, the German Shepherd. We're going to use this as behavior, since it's one of the most well-known military dogs, along with Belgian Malinois. We're using it because of that reason. We're using it for fur as well, along with behavior, as I just said, scent to smell, and ears. Now, as somebody who owns a German Shepherd, I know how they can just switch from being cuddly, cute pets to immediately going in to kill without hesitation. I've seen this in action with my own dog. So I know for sure this will be the best genome to add instead of any other dogs, because they can be aggressive when they need to be, but also cuddly and friendly when they're not on the job or whatever, when they're not protecting who they're trying to. And here is the bestest of boys, Romulus. His scientific name is Interfector Diamonum Triassic Icorum. Sorry, I know that was kind of stuttery. I'm still trying to get used to saying his name. He is the most well-engineered, perfect bioengineered military dog to ever exist. As you can see, he has inherited his coloration from the German Shepherd and ignore how big his tusks are, because I meant to draw them bigger, but I didn't really do that. So yeah, I'll make them a bit. I'll probably post something later on my community tab where I make his tusks longer so that they can actually be used for the purpose they're used for. He is about 6 to 7 feet tall, depending on the individual, and about 25 to 30 feet long as an adult, depending on the individual. Now, as you could probably guess by his name and the fact that I'm posting this, right after Goji Guy's video, and the screenshot you're seeing, I took that like 2 hours ago, so it's probably not accurate at this current point in time. But you can probably guess what else his purpose is, and also by his name. If you don't know what his name means, it means Killer of Triassic Demons. Now, I know what Goji Guy said about Reiner, but I made this hybrid a bit before Reiner got his video and everything. So I made this hybrid quite a bit ago. So yeah, we're using something before the whatever animal he used as the base genome for Reiner. We are using Inostrancevia, which predates the dinosaurs. Even Inostrancevia is from the Permian era, not even the Mesozoic, unlike most of you might have thought. I doubt it, but if you did think that, think again. So, let's talk about how I personally think a fight between Reiner and Romulus would go. Now, in my personal opinion, this fight is a lot closer than what you might think, or what Goji Guy might think. That's because of bias, obviously, but also because of my personal opinion and me making this video. So I'm going to present two scenarios. One where it's just an individual fight, one where it's a pack. Because obviously Romulus takes in the behavior from a German Shepherd, which are pack animals. So he would be hunting in packs most likely. And we're just going to disregard the fact that there would probably be humans taking place in this fight, because there would be. He's a military dog. So, yeah. So, let's get into the first hypothetical. So, just like what I said in a few videos ago, I'm not doing I'll tell a story. I'm definitely doing the story thing this time. I was being lazy that first time. But I'm not doing, like, the story voice like Goji Guy does, or like I did for the first few times I did this kind of thing. But I will tell you the brief overview of the story I wrote on the script here. I may summarize some of it. I may not say every little detail, but I'm definitely just going to do a quick overview. And yeah, this is my personal opinion. This is scenario 1 with a 1v1. As Reiner is eating from a bush close to the water, not in it exactly, but close to it, Romulus slowly and quietly sneaks up on him. Not knowing of his defenses from behind, he tries to flank Reiner and bites down, almost breaking his own teeth in the process, and quickly retreats. Reiner, immediately being aware of this, turns and sees him. But Romulus doesn't back down. He, in fact, just starts to growl and baring his giant fangs and waving his tail in the air, threatening to stab Reiner. Reiner, not knowing of these dangers, or still being a lot bigger as well, charges and bites down on Romulus's neck, and yeah, that's the end of it. That's it. I'm sorry. Romulus is way faster than Reiner, but yeah, no, he ain't it's a 1v1. He ain't surviving that. But now let's do a 1v3 between Reiner and 3 Romuluses. I'm just gonna set up the same scenario. Reiner is close to the water, eating. The pack slowly approaches him. 1 from behind and 2 from each side. The one in the flank immediately charges and tries to stab and bite down. Reiner's now aware of the danger and immediately turns to face the incoming and immediately turns to face his predator. But he's not quite aware of the other two quite yet. So the first Romulus charges towards him and tries to smash into him with his tusks, and but fails to gouge out an eye. Romulus pushes him back and nearly bites down on his arm, tearing it clean off, but barely misses. The other two Romulus, seeing their packmate being attacked and almost killed, immediately charge and grapple on to Romulus's sides, using their thumbs and large, sharp claws to grip and slash into him. Now, Romulus does have armor against this, but it's not enough. These claws are sharp and can be retracted into him, or ejected into whatever. And they start to bite down and rip his sides off. But he shakes them off with some difficulty. He spins around and bonks one of them with his rump, sending it back, but not quite knocking it out. The other Romulus on his side immediately backs up and is now face to him. Reiner charges and grabs his neck, snapping it. Now, it's 1 down, 2 to go. The one that flanked him immediately runs over and slashes his undersides with the porcupine quills. So he just flicks his tail underneath, stabbing into Reiner. It leaves the quills inside, but not exactly crushing impact, like not exactly in the range to be crushed, for immediately backs off, leaving those quills underneath. And now, whenever Reiner walks, it'll cause pain as they get pushed deeper and get moved, touching more pain nerves and making it hurt even more. The other Romulus immediately jumps back onto him and tries to tear into his back, but as you've seen from Gojigai's video, the back is also armored, with the bison's vertebrae providing armor somewhat. Not exactly, but somewhat. So Romulus Reiner bucks off the other Romulus on his back, and the first Romulus rams into his now exposed neck as he tries to, use his horns to slash and stab at the Romulus on his back, and impales his neck, not quite puncturing the windpipe, but impaling enough to bleed. Reiner recoils, knocking his head into the Romulus, knocking it back, and breaking off one of its tusks. Now, these are iron-infused, but as you can see in the drawing, only on the tip, so if it's hit on any of the points closer to the head, then it's more likely to break off than in the iron-infused parts. So, Reiner bucks off the Romulus on his back and immediately tries to charge for the one that had stabbed into his neck. It dodges with relative ease and stabs him again with the quills in the side. The one that was just bucked off sees this strategy seeming to work with Reiner, so it also starts to stab quills into him. And now, Reiner himself looks like a porcupine, with the quills all sticking out of his body. Some are deep, some aren't, some are just barely puncturing the skin and barely hanging on. Reiner, taking much damage from this and them easily outspeeding him, tries to ram and charge them, but it's a little bit harder since they are smaller and faster. And finally, after about maybe 30 or 15 minutes of fighting, he finally grabs one of the Romuluses and just stomps it, just crushes its skull. The last one, being the one that he broke the tusk off of, gets kind of a pump of adrenaline from watching its last packmate being killed, and just jumps on his back and starts to rip and tear with its iron-infused tusks, claws, well, not claws, teeth, and claws. And yeah, that's it. That's it. Reiner might be able to buck it off and kill it, possibly. Or he could, yeah, but he would die of blood loss from it, absolutely tearing into him. Now, again, this is my personal opinion. If you don't see the fight going this way, that's for you. That's not me. This is my personal opinion. I also did take in some factors, like how most likely the Romuluses would be accompanied by humans with guns. That is a very big possibility of what would be happening. I'm sorry, Goji Guy, if you are watching this. This is probably not how you would see the fight going. If you want to do something with that yourself, you can. Obviously, I'm not, yeah. free, you can do it. You probably aren't. I'm probably e-begging at this point, just trying to get you to make a video about this, but I know. If you don't want it, so yeah, that's my personal opinion on how a fight between a pack and a singular Romulus versus Reiner would go. The ultimate military dog. And yeah, that's it from me. I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.